Howdy. Hey, we cannot start a Project Wild workshop without doing our signature activity, which is what's wild. And in that activity, we take a look at classifying animals as wild or domestic. And even though the activity is written for grades K through 4, and it seems pretty basic, and yeah, your kids are too old to talk about that, I think there's some really good discussion points that you can address and bring up with kids. And plus you can send them outside and get them looking at different animals. So here's the plan. So domestic animals are animals, of course, that we provide food, water, and shelter for. They wouldn't be able to get it on their own. And there's all kinds of domestic animals. There's domestic animals that we feed so they can provide us food. There's animals that we love and we pet, and there are our pets, our cats and our dogs and hamsters and those kinds of things. There's also animals like horses and that you know, people use to pack and when they go in and go hunting and stuff like that. So lots of discussion about the different kinds of domestic animals. And you can also go into a discussion about what's the difference between a domestic animal and a tame animal, because a lot of times kids think if they're domestic, they're tame, and that's not always the case either. You can also add into your discussion what a feral animal is, F-E-R-A-L, feral, and it's an animal that was domestic and somehow got away and is living on its own now, and it can get its own food, water, and shelter. So that might be a cat, a house cat, you know, somebody abandoned or something like that. We also, when you talk about wild animals, of course, they're animals that get their own food, water, shelter, space. And I mean, I've heard kids say, oh, wild animals are the vicious ones, they're the mean ones. And so you really do have to have this discussion with them to make make it clear that we provide food, water, shelter, space. I mean, it's just like talking about, you know, sometimes kids think that birds leave because it gets cold. They don't leave because it gets cold. They leave because there's not enough food, because it is cold. So, you know, just discussions like that will be really helpful. And then when we're finished with that, or when you're finished with your discussion, and you guys are going to do this too, I'm going to have you go for a little walk around. Maybe you're at your school at lunchtime, just like about a 20-minute walk. Maybe you're at home after work and you live in a rural area, wherever you are. I want you to go, and I want you to take a little notepad, and I do have a little worksheet if you want to use that, but you don't have to, and count how many domestic animals you see and how many wild animals you see. You know, of course, make your own guess. And sometimes, you know, there's different things. Now, when you see a bird feeder and you see birds, you know, we do feed our birds. So does that make them domestic? Not necessarily. It's when you think about the whole group of that species. You know, just like there's tigers in the zoo that we provide food to, but you know, most tigers get their own food, water, shelter, space. So anyhow, after you're done with that, you're going to share on a Padlet, and I've provided the link for you, and we're going to have some fun with this, and we'll continue with the rest of our fun, wild activities that we can incorporate into all kinds of subject areas. So thanks a lot. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.